Though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no love. Oh, my smile, my mind reassure me I don't need no one. Woke up this morning with my mind set on loving me with my mind.
Hello again, I'm Starry,
And I am Tania.
and this is our concluding episode for Bay Talks, Black and Educated, hashtag Japanese Identity. Um, so far we have discussed three aspects of Japanese identity. The first, one of those aspects being the idea of the domestic foreigner, um, through the terms of half Fu, half Japanese, and half other ethnic groups, and how they're treated in Japan, and what does that look like, and why they're treated in that way. And then we've also talked about immigrant others, Korean, and also touched on a little bit of African immigrants to Japan. And also, we've talked about subcultures in Japan, particularly hip hop influence in Japan. And through the lens of theory, we've used two theories. Tamia covered Hume's theory, and I talked about social identity theory. And yeah,
Okay, so like just a brief recap. I know you guys are probably in love with the Helms theory by now. So okay, I am. Shout out to Jeanette Helms again. Um, yeah, just recapping those things all together. So we covered contact with the Meiji era and discussed how Japan was very insulated, and then we moved right into disintegration and the dissonance that people in subcultures like B-stylers kind of felt, where they thought that they were or believed that they are not doing any harm by portraying this
or maybe not
darkness
even thought about
and
that.
blackness. Yeah, if you're not confronting with it, which is the point of this theory. And then three, reintegration, which is again the regression of believing that you are more important and more valuable, or your culture is than others. And we saw that with that last podcast about the Koreans and how they're still being very mistreated because because they're not as appreciated. And also the pseudo independence and the immersion, which can kind of be collaborated with the HAFU, the addressing social issues and representation of darker skinned HAFU people, and also coming to the conclusion of what the question we initially started with: who is Japanese? And I think throughout this research, we found that Japanese people have a variety of ways that they describe themselves, but exclusively Japanese. You have to have the cultural and language component along with the physical aesthetic.
Have to belong to a group.
Yeah.
You just have to be part of a group. No matter, all that we talked about was just groups and subgroups
Mm-hmm.
and how they interact with each other. But it seems to boil down to the fact that you have to get in where you fit in,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. Like, you don't have a choice. In some sense of the matter, you might identify as being Japanese, if Japanese something from Japanese, like that you're not Japanese. So it's kind of like a majority rule situation as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the final step of the theory, which is autonomy, I don't think has been reached by Japan at all, because they have not quite reached the point where a majority of folks have accepted diversity. And that's okay for now. But we
Because
predict
yeah,
we predict with the influence of more technology and more accessibility to people of different cultures that this will change in the near future.
yes, I agree. So thank you so much for joining us for Bay Talks, hashtag Japanese Identity, Black and Educated Talks. Okay, this is our first installment, but we plan on doing a second installment very, very soon because we really enjoyed doing this. And the next one will focus on our own identity as Black women in higher education,
Yes.
which we will have guests that are our elders and as well as younger Black women in higher education. And we're going to engage in a serious dialogue and hopefully help some people out and help ourselves. So thank you so much for listening to this. It has truly been an inspiration to be a part of this project, and especially with Tania. I feel like we're going to graduate and continue to do things like this. I enjoyed taking this risk. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Great. Okay.